It was no coincidence that you arrived here. Perhaps something deep inside you felt the call hidden in the words, "Don't watch this video." These words weren't written for everyone. They were written for those who are ready to change, even if they don't understand why. This video is not just a message, it is an energetic experience. The words, the sounds, and the silence between them are designed to touch your subconscious, where true change happens. If you allow it, this will be the moment your mind begins to reorganize and your energy opens to the new. You might feel something different, a lightness, a warmth, maybe even a desire to breathe deeper. These are signs of release, that the process has already begun. Old energy is shifting, fear is dissolving, and anxiety begins to give way to serenity. All you need to do is allow it. During this video, don't try to understand. Just listen, feel, and breathe. The mind will try to resist, but the heart will know the way. When you surrender, transformation happens silently. Don't be alarmed by what you feel. It's just the new entering you. And if, as you listen, something inside you touches peace, remember this. Change didn't start now. It started the moment you chose to listen. If this energy resonates in your heart, follow this channel. Here, each video is a vibrational portal, a reunion with your essence, and a reminder that your power has always been within you. Some messages only arrive when the soul is ready to hear them. The phrase, "Don't watch this video," isn't a denial, it's a mirror. It awakens the curiosity of those who silently are already asking for change. It's an energetic call, a vibrational password that only the awakened consciousness recognizes. The warning isn't a limit, it's permission. When you read, "Don't watch," something inside you stirs. The mind questions, but the heart acknowledges. This duality is the first sign of reprogramming. The ego resists, but the soul responds. It is at this moment that transformation begins, when consciousness realizes it can no longer live dormant. The choice to watch is symbolic. It's the moment when the human being takes vibrational command of their own life. Watching here is an act of courage. It's deciding to look within and see what needs to be resolved. When you choose to listen, you choose to change. This is the hidden power of choice. It creates a new reality. By saying yes to the new, you send an energetic signal to the universe. I am ready to remember who I am. The universe immediately responds to this vibration, and life begins to reorganize itself around this decision. Therefore, the warning is sacred. It doesn't impede, it awakens. The transformation doesn't begin in the video, but the moment you decide to stay. From that point on, the energy of change has already been activated, and nothing will ever be the same again. Before surrendering to change, the mind tries to protect the old. It resists, creates distractions, doubts, rationalizes. This resistance isn't a mistake. It's an ancient mechanism of self-preservation. The brain seeks security, even if that security lies in familiar discomfort. The new frightens because it represents the unknown. The anxious mind fears losing control. Therefore, when it senses the vibration of transformation, it reacts with fear. But fear is simply a sign that something big is moving. It doesn't come to stop you, but to test your willingness to follow. When you observe fear without identifying with it, it loses its power. All reprogramming begins when resistance is embraced. Instead of fighting your mind, you listen to it. Instead of forcing something new, you invite it. This attitude changes everything. The subconscious stops seeing the process as a threat and starts recognizing it as healing. True transformation is silent. It happens between the lines, in the moments when you take a deep breath and choose to keep going. Each time you don't give up, you're teaching your mind that it's safe to change. The initial discomfort is just the body adapting to the new frequency, and then something magical happens. Resistance gives way, control dissolves, anxiety, once dominant, transforms into curiosity. The mind, now calmer, realizes that the danger never existed. There was only fear, and fear, seen with awareness, becomes light. Fear is the guardian of what you used to be. It's not your enemy. It's the energy that protects the familiar. Whenever change approaches, fear appears to ask, "Are you sure you want to let this go?" It's not trying to stop you. It's simply asking you to wake up and consciously choose the new. When you observe fear with presence, something opens up. You realize it's not an external force but an ancient emotion, born of trying to stay safe. The mind has learned to fear expansion, and anxiety is the voice of that fear. But when you embrace it, it dissolves, because it's no longer necessary. Deconstructing fear means recognizing its origins. It means understanding that it stems from past experiences, not the present. The danger was real before, but now it's just a memory. And a memory only has power when it's fueled by attention. When you observe it without reacting, it fades. By embracing fear, you transform it into neutral energy that can be redirected toward creation. This is where mental reprogramming becomes spiritual. Fear, which once controlled you, now teaches you to love the unknown. When fear loses its protective function, it becomes wisdom. And it is at this moment that the old self begins to unravel. What was once tension becomes space. And in this space, the new self awakens, serene, conscious, and free. Every inner change is also an energetic shift. As you reprogram your mind, your body's frequencies begin to adjust. It's common to feel warmth, tingling, goosebumps, deep sleep, or even spontaneous tears. These signs aren't discomfort, they're evidence that the energy is shifting. Anxiety begins to fade, and the mind tries to reorganize itself. During this process, old thoughts may surface, not to haunt you, but to be released. It's the old energy saying goodbye, like dust rising before the final cleansing. When this happens, breathe. Breathing is the thread that connects the physical to the energetic. Each inhalation brings new vibrational information. Each exhalation carries away what has already served its purpose. You don't need to understand, just allow. This movement is intelligent. The energy knows the way. All you feel is your body adjusting to the new vibration of your mind. Fear dissolves, your heart slows, and silence begins to occupy the space that was once noise. And then there's a moment when everything quiets. No thoughts dominate. No emotions demand a response. That's the moment you realize change isn't coming, it's already happened. Anxiety arises when the mind loses track of time, when it tries to control what hasn't yet happened. Consciousness, on the other hand, lives in the now. It observes without identifying, embraces without resisting, and with this simple act, dissolves the root of fear. The mind thinks, but consciousness only sees. And it is in this vision that healing begins. When you observe your thoughts without judging them, something powerful happens. The mental flow slows, and the body begins to remember what it feels like to exist in peace. Consciousness doesn't need to fight anxiety. It simply illuminates the space where anxiety hides. And whatever is illuminated loses its power to dominate. Presence is the antidote to anxiety. Being mindful is taking a deep breath and returning to the moment in which life happens. Fear cannot survive the now because the now is whole and complete. In it, there is no lack, no future, no control. There is only being. Each time you breathe and observe, a layer of anxiety dissolves. The mind ceases to be an enemy and becomes an instrument. You realize it doesn't need to be silenced, only understood. Consciousness doesn't fight, it accepts, and in accepting, it transforms. Being mindful means living awake within your body, feeling your heart and listening to the silence between thoughts. When this happens, mental reprogramming becomes natural. Anxiety is not fought but transcended, and what remains is only peace. The phrase "don't watch" carries a different frequency. It awakens the mind's curiosity, but more deeply, it touches the heart of the soul. It's a vibrational code, a call that resonates only in those ready to awaken. If you've remained here, it's because something within you has responded. This warning is not a prohibition. It is a veiled invitation. It separates the curious from the awakened, the observer from the participant. Those who truly feel the urge to continue are those who have already silently chosen to change. The soul recognizes the sound of its own evolution, even when it comes disguised as a warning. "Don't watch" is a mirror of readiness. It says without words that transformation requires courage. That watching something like this is allowing the old energy to dissolve and the new to manifest. And those who continue, even without understanding why, have already begun to walk within themselves. The rational mind tries to interpret the literal meaning, but the subconscious understands the hidden meaning. This video is an activation, and only those who are vibrationally ready will remain. This is the natural triage of consciousness. Awakening doesn't happen by chance, but by attunement. So if you're still here, it's no coincidence. You were called. And every word you hear from now on is part of the process of remembering who you truly are. The don't watch was, in fact, the portal to your own awakening. The subconscious mind is the fertile ground where all beliefs flourish. It doesn't judge, doesn't question. It simply records and repeats. Therefore, reprogramming occurs silently, when the conscious mind quiets and the subconscious begins to receive new vibrational instructions. It is in the silence that the new program takes hold. During this process, anxiety tends to naturally decrease. This happens because the subconscious stops operating in alert mode and starts operating in trust mode. The old signals of fear, guilt, and urgency are replaced by commands of calm, presence, and inner security. Reconditioning requires no effort, just consistency. Repeating peaceful states creates new neural pathways, and little by little, the body begins to respond according to this new pattern. With each conscious breath, the mind learns that it is possible to live without the weight of the past. This is the power of surrender. When you stop trying to change, change happens on its own. The subconscious responds to the vibration you emit, not the words you speak. Therefore, feeling is more important than thinking. Thus, reprogramming becomes natural. It's not imposed, it's absorbed. The mind ceases to be an obstacle and becomes the channel through which the divine expresses itself. The new settles in silence, and silence in itself transforms. There comes a moment in every spiritual journey when the mind realizes it cannot control awakening. This is the turning point, the moment the ego surrenders to the higher wisdom that guides it. The attempt to understand, justify, or predict simply disappears. All that remains is trust. Releasing control is the most profound lesson of mental reprogramming. Control is the root of anxiety. It's the impulse to hold on to what, by nature, should flow. When you let go of control, energy moves freely again, and the body experiences a lightness that seemed impossible before. The mind believes control brings security, but it's actually quite the opposite. Control creates resistance, and resistance fuels fear. By letting go, you don't lose control. You return it to consciousness, which has always known the way. The universe works best when you allow it. It is at this point that the transformation deepens. Surrender becomes natural, and what was once anxiety becomes trust. The heart takes over, and the mind learns to rest. What was effort becomes flow, and what was tension becomes peace. This is true power, the power of no longer needing to control. When the mind bends to consciousness, everything falls into harmony. And you finally realize that control was never security, but the fear of trusting your own light. Your energy field is a direct reflection of what you feel. It holds emotional memories, old vibrations, and remnants of unresolved experiences. When you surrender, these frequencies begin to reorganize. The energy that was previously trapped in the form of anxiety begins to move and flow again. Surrender is the gateway to vibrational healing. It's not giving up, it's trusting in the flow of life. While control creates tension, surrender opens space for the natural energy of love to circulate again. In this movement, body, mind, and spirit align themselves in a single pulse. Mental reprogramming deepens when the energy field becomes receptive. It is in this state that new vibrational information is absorbed by the subconscious. The body feels, the mind becomes silent, and the heart guides. Everything begins to operate in silent harmony. During this process, you may experience sensations of warmth, chills, or gentle vibrations. These are signs that the energy is recalibrating. The physical body is learning to sustain lighter frequencies, dissolving tensions accumulated over years. When surrender is complete, the energy of love replaces fear. The mind stops fighting and begins to observe. The energy field then expands, and you realize you are in communion with something much greater. Surrender becomes the path, and the path is healing itself. All true healing begins in the body. It's where old emotions hide, waiting for attention. When the mind begins to reprogram itself, the body understands it can release what's been bottled up. This release can come in the form of yawning, warmth, tears, sleep, or a sudden feeling of lightness. None of this is a sign of weakness, it's a sign of liberation. Every sensation is the body communicating, "I'm ready to let go." When you embrace without fear, the process happens naturally. The body is wise, and its language is energetic. It releases what no longer resonates with the new mental state. This cleansing is an essential step in reprogramming. The mind sends the new frequency, and the body responds, adjusting to it. The more you observe without interfering, the faster the purification. It's like allowing a current to carry away what was trapped at the bottom of the river. The emotional, mental, and physical bodies begin to work together. This synchrony creates a sense of clarity and tranquility. The weight that once felt like part of who you are disappears, and what remains is your essence, free and pure. At the end of the cleansing, a new inner space emerges. The silence is deeper, the breath is broader, and the heart vibrates differently. The past has been honored, felt, and released. Now, there is room for the new to dwell within you. When the mind is reprogrammed, the first sign of change is silence. The constant noise that once seemed uncontrollable begins to cease, and in its place emerges a wide, light space. This is the new mental frequency, a state of consciousness that vibrates in presence. In it, there is no rush, no pressure. There is only the now. Presence is the natural state of being, but the mind, accustomed to the past and the future, had forgotten. When it calms, you realize that everything you sought was here all along. The present ceases to be a passage and becomes home. Living in presence means being at peace even when the world outside still moves. It means acting with awareness, not in haste. It means realizing that silence is not the absence of sound, but fullness vibrating in balance. This is the point where anxiety no longer finds shelter. The new mental frequency creates harmony in the body and clarity in the soul. Emotions become lighter, thoughts more subtle, and intuition sharper. Everything that was fragmented begins to come together again, and the being feels whole again. The state of presence isn't something you seek, it's something you remember. When you remember to be present, the entire universe realigns. Peace doesn't come from outside, but from the inner vibration that you've learned to maintain. After the emotional storm comes vibrational calm. It's at this moment that you realize the fear was just the echo of an old energy. By releasing it, your body and mind enter a state of reorganization. The lightness you feel isn't just emotional, it's cellular, energetic, and spiritual. This reconfiguration is profound. The nervous system learns that it no longer needs to react defensively, and the subconscious imprints the new safety pattern. What was once a struggle becomes a flow. The mind stops chasing peace and begins to vibrate peace. Lightness is proof that the new code has taken hold. You begin to notice it in the little things. Easier laughter, looser breathing, a more serene body. Life seems to have slowed down, but it's you who has finally aligned yourself with the rhythm of existence. Anxiety, once a constant companion, now becomes a distant memory. The internal system is reconfigured, operating on the basis of trust. Fear, once the driving force, becomes a messenger that merely alerts us to misalignment. This lightness is the result of the mind in harmony with the heart. When fear fades, love finds space to blossom. And in this blossoming, life reveals itself as it always was, simple, beautiful, and sufficient. Everything in existence vibrates, and that vibration responds to yours. What you feel is what you create. and what you vibrate is what you attract. External reality is merely a reflection of your internal state. When you shift your mental frequency, the world begins to mirror this new energy, naturally, effortlessly, without struggle. Conscious vibration is the point where the spiritual meets the physical. When you feel gratitude, peace, or love, your energy field expands, attracting experiences that resonate with this harmony. Likewise, when you vibrate with fear, scarcity, or doubt, reality returns exactly the same pattern. Therefore, true power lies not in controlling what happens, but in choosing how to respond to it. Every emotion, every thought, every breath is an energetic emission that shapes the universe around you. The universe is a mirror, and you are the reflection it manifests. Awakened consciousness understands that creation is constant. You create not only when you meditate, but every moment you feel. The energy you emanate while listening to this video is already shaping what will come tomorrow. This is how the invisible becomes visible. When you learn to maintain your vibration in a state of presence, the external world reorganizes itself. Anxiety gives way to confidence, fear transforms into clarity, and chaos into synchronicity. This is true reprogramming, vibrating with intention and living with awareness. After silence and healing, something begins to emerge within you. It's the new you, not some invented version, but the essence that has always been hidden beneath the layers of fear. This new being vibrates differently, lighter, more serene, more whole. It no longer seeks because it knows it already is. The new self is not an escape from the old, but the integration of all that was. It understands that every pain was a teacher, every mistake a stepping stone, and every fear a door. The old self does not die. It is embraced, loved, and transmuted. Thus, duality dissolves and harmony emerges. Living as this new self is living in a state of constant presence. The past doesn't bind him, the future doesn't frighten him. He walks with an open heart and a serene mind. He acts, but without anxiety. He feels, but without attachment. He exists, but without needing to prove himself. Harmony is the natural state of the awakened being. When mind, body, and spirit vibrate in unison, everything flows with ease. The new self doesn't force, it allows. It doesn't try to understand, it trusts. It doesn't fear, it observes. And it is in this state of harmony that true transformation takes place. Old fear becomes wisdom, and anxiety becomes stillness. The new self is born in silence, but its presence is so luminous that it transforms everything around it. Now that the mind has quieted and the heart has opened, the process is complete. But true transformation is only confirmed when it is experienced. Anchoring means bringing what has been felt into daily life, transforming awareness into practice. With every gesture, word, and breath, you confirm the new vibrational state. Living as presence means staying awake, even in simple situations. It's remembering that you are not your thoughts, but the silent space that observes them. The mind will continue to speak, but now you don't confuse it with it. You listen to it with compassion, as if understanding that it only wants to protect. Grounding occurs when inner peace no longer depends on circumstances. The world may move, the sounds may increase, the days may change, but something within you remains untouched. This is the living, stable awareness, rooted in the now. To sustain this vibration, one practice is all it takes. Observing without judgment. Whenever fear tries to return, breathe and say, "I am here, present." This is enough to realign your energy and remind your body that the danger has passed. The present is your powerhouse. And so, the transformation becomes permanent. Not because the world has changed, but because you've changed the way you see it. You're no longer ruled by your mind. Now, you're the guiding presence. Don't watch has become live awake. And living awake is living in peace. Now take one last breath and notice the silence that remains. This silence is proof that something has changed. The mind, once agitated, now rests in harmony. The anxiety has dissolved, and what remains is presence, pure, alive, whole. You are no longer trying to change. You have already changed. Everything that happened here was just the beginning of a new vibration. The energy that passed through you will continue to act, even after the video ends. Every cell, every thought, and every breath is already encoded with the new pattern of peace. From now on, fear no longer rules. It simply warns you that it is time to return to consciousness. You no longer need to look outside for what you have already found inside. Control has been surrendered, resistance has melted away, and the heart now leads. What was once anxiety became presence, and what was once doubt became faith. Don't watch has become live awake. And if you felt something different, something profound, follow that impulse. Subscribe to this channel. Each new video is an expansion of that same energy. Here, you will continue reprogramming your mind, dissolving fear, and remembering, little by little, who you have always been, peace in human form. Take this vibe with you. Let it flow in your words, your gestures, and your silences. You're not listening to this video, you're listening to yourself. Consciousness has awakened and the entire universe vibrates with you. Welcome back to your true inner home.